Hi, welcome to the tutorial put out by Simple Stories for the Fall Farmhouse banner, and I'm going to be recreating it. Now you'll notice some differences. So if you've bought the kit from Country Craft Creations, we've gone the extra step and done some pre-cutting and a few extra things for you. So when you're looking at your kit list, we're going to go over that really quick as to what had come in your kit. The first thing you're going to notice, so I'm going to be putting some things back, is that you'll have this lovely brown twine, and you're going to have the orange and white polka dot ribbon that we're going to be using to put our banner together. Now, I knew that maybe you didn't, some of you may not want the orange, you may want to make some bows, so that is why we included both. And one thing it does say on your student supplies is that you're going to want adhesive. That we did not include. We are going to be using art glitter glue. You can also use your wet or dry adhesive. And it does say add foam dots on the student supplies, but we have provided foam dots for you so that you don't have to go looking for that. So over on your student list, the only thing you'll need is your paper trimmer, scissors, you will want a pencil and an eraser, a ruler. It says a 1/8 of an inch hole punch, but you can use a bigger if that's all you have. We've already included the twine and ribbon. You'll want a black journaling pen, and they use theirs to go around. I'm not going to be doing that, but you certainly can. And of course, some brown distressing ink. I'm going to be using sepia. So I'm going to set those aside. Now, one thing that is included, which is on the kit, includes your enamel dots. So I'm working from the kind of in between everywhere. I'm going to actually, okay, you've got your chipboard elements, and then we also have our 6x8 paper pad. So I'm going to set those aside. Before we get into these, I want to tell you, you have 3 pieces of lightweight chipboard. This project through Simple Stories does not call for a lightweight chipboard. It calls for you making your banner right out of your paper, or actually these 6x8 papers. I don't feel that is heavy enough, so we're going to be making it with the lightweight chipboard. So if you purchase the kit from us, you'll get the 3 sheets because there's 6 banners, and you need only 2 will fit. It's a good size banner. And it also calls for the dot papers. Now, the reason it calls for the dot papers is we cut circles, but you're going to notice I did use craft. We also are going to be backing those circles instead of them just being one layer. They're going to be double layers, so they're going to be nice and strong. Now, your letters. I did cut them out of craft. On your instruction sheets, it will show you that you're going to cut your letters with this sky blue in the background. It's really hard to see. Again, I just didn't feel it was strong enough, and to be honest with you, I'll show you the templates in a moment. For you to hand cut these, a lot of you would, I know, would become frustrated. I did. So Simple Stories was so gracious and gave us the cutting file, so I thought, why not utilize them? So I've already pre-cut the letters out of the color it calls for, and I've done them out of craft. We'll shadow them with the colors, and the same with your ovals. So you'll have your oval, and then you're going to shadow it with the peach color. But I didn't stop there because I knew you're going to want extra papers because we're not doing it double-sided. The paper is double-sided, but once again, it's just not strong enough. It's a nice cardstock for, you know, matting and creating with, but it's not for using as a banner. So I did include 1 sheet of each color. You're going to have the pumpkin, the sky dots, the leaf dots, the harvest dots, another sheet of peach, even though we cut your circles, and you'll also have your teal dots. One thing we're going to be using these for is we're going to use them to do the back side of our chipboard, and if you like, you can use your remaining papers, but I thought these are too beautiful to use on the back of a banner. Why don't we make cards with these? So we'll be doing that also. So let's get started with the banner. So what you're going to need to do, oh, no, let's go to our templates really quick. So each banner piece will have a step-by-step, and it will also tell you what each letter was cut from, but I've already cut those for you. And then pennant 1, pennant 2, so it's all laid out for us. There's 3 and 4. Now when you get to page 5, now for me, I've got these double-sided because I have to reprint them. Anyway, you won't have to worry. Your template is not, you're not going to be cutting into your instructions. You're going to have the template, and you're going to have Wilbur down here running around. Your fall letters. Now here was the thing. You only get one side, or maybe you don't. Oh, no, you do get the shadow. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you about. These are mixed up. Where it says the letter and then the shadow. To me, the shadow is what you put on top. Somebody told me no, the shadow's on the bottom. Probably is. You guys know me. I'm backwards. So you've got your letter template. This is going to be, if you want to make a mark, if you're going to use these ever, the letter template is with the colored cardstock. Your shadow, I used craft. Like I said, I think the shadow's on top, but I know I'm wrong. But then you have your ovals. You have 2, but again, I've cut those for you already from the SVG files. But you have the templates so that you'll have future projects if you want to do them. Now you can also get a hold of me and say, can you cut me some more letters? Not much of a charge, and I can throw them in an order. You just let me know. So we're going to start with our banner piece. These I was not able to cut because cutting through on the machine it just takes too long. So we are going to start by cutting out the template. Excuse me. Again, if you lose any of your templates, I can email them to you. Now, if you have a scan cut or anything, or if you do want to cut your banner, I have made an SVG file. They did not provide us one, but it is a different size. And I would be glad to email it to you if you email me at countrycraftcreations@outlook.com. So what I'm going to do now, I like to use my scoreboard. It helps me keep things centered. We're going to do the first one. So I'm going to do the first one on my chipboard, and then after that I will be using the chipboard as my template, because this for me is just not heavy duty enough. And another way to do it is just to pre-cut the size. I'm going to show you both ways. And I'm going to beat this dog. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, hopefully he's settled now. Your banner is actually 5 3/4 across. So if you want to, you can cut your 2 pieces of chipboard. It's going to be 5 3/4 and 7 3/4. So you can just get your pieces cut, and I'm going to do actually both. First one I'm going to do, we're going to cut this at 5 3/4. And yeah, I need to just take that off. I'm going to trim that, but I want to take it down to 7 3/4. Then you'll have a little piece to keep there. I need to trim that off. Main thing is they're going to be the same size, so I'll cut the second piece, and this will make it a lot quicker. Sorry, I just heard our house alarm go off, so somebody's playing with it upstairs. So this is going to be a lot easier. So you can just cut your board so you keep a nice 12-inch piece. So cut it off at 7 3/4 and then cut your 5 3/4-inch shapes. You can hand cut these, or you can use a blade using your scissors. Start at this corner. Okay, most of you have a 2-year-old. I have a beagle. Again, from this corner, and we're going to just cut it up to the center. This will be covered with paper, but I would still, if it's right here at the bottom, get rid of those. Now I'm pretty much done with that. So you can also make your own shape. So another really easy way to do this, so that you don't have to keep cutting a template, is measure where that point comes up is 1 inch. So another way, so you don't even have to use your template, is to find your center. And your center is going to be, I believe, 2 3/4. You know, they put it at 3, but there's no way, because this is not 6 inches. This is 5 3/4. Well, yeah, about, no, it's not quite 3. So, you know, my math skills just aren't working tonight. It's ridiculous. I should know this. Okay, so our half is, once I stop to think a minute, is like 2.87. So 2.788 is close enough. You're going to be pretty close to the center if you want to do it that way. And then you're going to just measure up 1 inch. And you can use your ruler and cut a straight line if you need to, but I'm just going to cut straight up. And then from corner to center, and again, corner to center. This way you have a better visual of what I'm doing. Matches. Make sure everything fits nice. Nope. I like my Butterbean scissors. There we go. Look at my clothespins are cattywampus today. Okay, I'm going to take my cutter. It'll be simpler now. And I'm going to cut this to 7 3/4. And then 5 3/4 and 5 3/4. And then 5 3/4 and 5 3/4. Oh, let's just cut the last one. And we'll have our 6 pieces. And I won't have to grab my cutter anymore. The reason I also want my banner to be double-sided, I'm going to be hanging it up in my window by the dining room, so you're going to see both sides. And having it done on both sides, I like it better. So I'm just going to take my last one. So I showed you a couple of different ways, whichever one will work best for you. I'll just use this from the first 2 as my template. And if you're really good with your cutter, you can also put this in your cutter. One more. So you definitely, if you have a scan and cut and scan and cut, yeah, you're welcome to scan that template, and then you can definitely cut these on your machine. And then also, don't worry if they're not exactly all perfect because it's not going to show. First thing I'm going to do is I want to ink the edges of these. And that is not in your instructions. I'm just going to kind of go through them with you. So the instructions, use your scissors to cut out your templates. The only template you're going to need to cut if you bought the kit is your banner pieces. So then it just talks about your pumpkin dots and tracing around your letters, and each one will tell you what the color is for. And then from your 6x8 paper pad, we'll get into that. It tells you the different strips and things to cut for each banner piece. But like I said, this is not in the instructions. This is only here on the video. So now I'm just going along the edge. And then when you ink it too, it kind of shows you where you need to, if you need to fix anything. And you can get really crazy with the ink and really come up on the sides if you want, or just keep it simple. Keep it more clean. Not too worried about the back side. The back side we won't see as much, but because mine is going up in the window like I mentioned, you do want the back side done. Plus it's going to give it more substance. Also, this will give you the chance to see if there's any pencil you need to erase. I love that this is a big banner. It's really good size. Made for the 6x8 paper pad. But you can definitely use any paper. If you're going to use your 12x12, so you'll get 2 out of your 12x12 sheets. Do you ever have those nights when it's Grand Central Station? It's kind of like that here lately on the weekends at Grandma's house. And during the day. We're going to use our Just Ink later. Oh, it's upside down. Did we really? So we're going to cover these, but I want to prepare our pieces and parts first. So we're going to do our ovals, and you'll take those right out of your bag, and you have 4. Like I said, the instructions call for you cutting actually for your ovals. The instructions have you doing the peach paper, just the oval, and carefully cutting them out by hand. But like I said, I just did not feel it was strong enough. It didn't, just doing the paper just doesn't give it enough substance. And I've already figured out the shadowing, so you don't have to try and cut these down. If you've ever tried to cut down ovals and circles, they're not the easiest. And I'm not doing a heavy ink, just a medium. Now I'm going to have, you can have the plain or the polka dot. I'm going to have the polka dot. And I believe they did the plain on this. And then on your paper, you'll see they went around it with a pen, with that ink. They talk about having a black journaling pen. You can draw the circle around. I won't. And I believe they did use the plain. I am going to use the polka dots. So that's something to decide. Your letters or polka dots. Oh, maybe we won't. I always do that, don't I? I think we will go plain. So I'm going to ink on the polka dot side because I always get it messiest. But let's see how that looks. It doesn't look too bad. But when it's plain, I'm kind of messy. Sand the edge. I do want some of that distress to show. Oh my goodness.
If I wanted to go to Culver's.
Sorry about that. You know what? I've got this thing on my phone and I cannot, now all my messages come through talking. Yeah, we got to try and figure out how to get that turned off. Okay. They're going to sit right on top. So you'll see I'll have a little border. I mentioned earlier I'm all thumbs tonight when I was making the charm in another video. And I really am. Okay, so put that on there. So the main instructions do not call for you matting your oval. So that's just the extra I've done so that you have a banner that's sturdy. And then when you're done with it for the season, you can just put it back in a bag, and so just save the bag it came with, and then you can put it away until next year. And it will, you don't have to worry about it not holding its shape, because see, this is going to hold its shape. And as you can see, these are pretty good size. Oh, and you might notice your oval might fit one way a little different, because I noticed that the original SVG file, it almost has a little bit of an egg shape. So just turn the paper. These were hand drawn, so I think that's pretty cool too. It gives it a little more personality. They were hand drawn, though, they're simple stories. The oval. Now the center, I had to resize for you because they didn't have that available. Okay, so we have our ovals done. Now we're going to move on to the fall. I did cut your letters exactly like the photo. So the harvest gold, you have the teal, and then the orange and the green. Good size fall letters, aren't they? Now, this is where it calls for that pencil, and you might see in your instructions. After they put it down, they did go around it with a pencil or with that ink pen. I'm not going to. And then also they have you cut these out yourself, and the back, instead of being this one, is going to be that sky blue. Anymore, there are so many notifications everywhere, and if you don't get them all turned off, some nights it drives you crazy. Sorry about that. And you also do not even have to do the inking if you don't want to. It still will look great. Now on this section here, I go from behind with my sponge and just get in there the best you can. Because see, then you'll make kind of a mess on the back side instead of on the front. And I'm not going to do the fall letters, the craft ones. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to turn everything off. I'm tired of these notifications. Yeah, it's quiet for a moment. Okay, we're done with that for just now. And it doesn't matter what letter we start with. I'm going to start with just an L, whatever's closest to me, and the polka dot on the outside. And then you're going to have that little bit of a border. And we are going to be using our foam dots on our letters. So next is the A. And if you love this little fall banner, we do have more available at countrycraftcreations.com. They're under the project kits, also in there with our Craftology box, and you'll see some other fun project kits, affordable ones that you can do. And it's kind of nice to have in your home to bring out some of your handmade items. It just adds that country charm, that even more modern exteriors that everybody is just loving. Or a gift. I'll tell you what, the elderly just love in retirement homes, nursing homes. They love stuff like this. So if you're able to make a banner and then take it to the admin and ask if you can, or they have a coordinator for activities. I know they'd let you hang it up in there. And definitely it would be super appreciated. Or just to send to somebody. See, to give you an idea, we will have these mounted on our foam tape or foam dots. Then we're going to add foam dots to all of our embellishments. It's going to be so cute. Okay, now we're going to go down right to the instructions for number 1. Now at the bottom, you'll have your 6x8 paper pad. And it's going to tell you to select your green plaid. So we do have to kind of look through here. Everything's just so pretty to find our green plaid. And the front of it is the wreath. So we do want to take, because we're going to start, we're not starting there, we're going to start with Pennant 1, but we want to prepare this so that it doesn't get used for anything else. This is already 8 inches long, so it tells us to cut a 4x8 strip. And to set that aside. So we'll set that aside. Our next one is going to be kind of an orange, yellow, kind of a blush floral pattern. Orange floral blush pattern. Wait a minute, that's not our orange floral blush pattern. It doesn't tell us for which pendant, so. Because I'm making this right with you guys, because I wanted to make it right with you so that I know we're going to use this. And then we're also going to want that teal gingham paper. I'm just the type of person that can touch something and I lose it immediately. It's right here in front of me. Ugh. See this one right here? The back side. Oh, we're going to have to cut that. Really? I can't believe they chose that one to cut. So I'm going to be honest with you. If you see a different one, I'm going to show you some different ones that we're not going to use. We are going to use this one. Okay? And we are using this one. If you do not want to cut that, so they've used it for the third one. And you do have a different floral that you can choose from. But it does blend in with what we're going to use on the first. No, you can't, because we're going to use the wood. You may want to hold off if you absolutely do not, and it's in your heart, you don't want to cut that. I totally understand. Okay, like your pumpkins. I don't believe we're using that anywhere else. So you can hold off on that piece if you don't want to cut this one yet, because you don't want to get rid of that. That's pretty cool. But for the sake of the tutorial, so that I match, yes, I'm going to cut it. Killing me, but I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut a 4x8. And all of these pieces are going to be 4x8. But just remember, you can find more of this paper packs. We have the 4x8s in the store. So this one is the gingham. Now the multicolored plaid. Four by 8. And this one is the teal gingham paper 4x8. These are going to be center strips. Okay, we have our center strips all cut. You're still going to need your cutter. We're going to start with banner number 1. So pennant number 1 is live each day with a grateful heart. And it is the full size. So what you're going to do is you can use this and you can put it on that template right here. Now it is 6 inches. So you know you're going to take a little bit off on the sides because they made it to fit completely. And because we kind of did a hand cut on the banner, I definitely would trace it. But you have to remember, then this will come up here. Does that make sense? So when you turn this over this way, then that will be your front. But it's going to be so much easier to see on this light blue paper. So this is where you might want to grab a clothespin. Still going to use my cutter. I want to get the sides pretty exact. I have so many different cutters. I'll be honest with you, I'm liking the creative memories for the smaller cuts, but it's kind of hard to use to line up. It really is on these small cuts. One day I'll find a small cutter I absolutely love, but I mean, Fiskars has come close. I just don't like to have to buy all those blades. Now, because I knew that there was a little problem when I cut this, I'm going to trim this to fit because I want it to be the exact same size. See, and this is my other problem. I'm ambidextrous, so using cutters is not exactly the easiest thing for me. That's why I love my dolly, but it's just too big to get in the camera. I'm just doing this basic straight out like the paper says, so you can definitely dress it up, dress it down, but also I want you to see how lightweight your 6x8 paper pad is. So if we had used it just as our banner, it would have been just too light. Okay, I'm going to have to do a little straightening up cutting on my big cutter. And then the one thing that I'm not going to do on camera when we're finished, you're going to actually go back before we punch any holes, and you'll do the same thing with your full-size 12x12s and mount the back. But you're going to do it exactly like we have been doing the front. And I'm going to take the tip off there, but I'm still going to be light with my glue. Just like wallpapering, we do need to spread that around. And you can check the back. So it is a little bit off. And then if you want, you can do each side, of course, and stop the video. And then you'll have plenty of paper to choose of the dots and solids, what you want to put there. Okay, pendant number 2 is going to actually be that really pretty orange leaf. And again, you won't cut your little fall. And we're going to grab another pendant. One thing that the instructions show is that they did adhere the green plaid first, because it does say in your instructions, center and adhere the 4x8 green plaid vertically to the orange leaf paper, and then you're going to cut it out together. So that is totally up to you. I'm going to do it that way as in the instructions, but we're going to go ahead and ink the green piece. And it actually is kind of nice because this is 6 inches. So we just know that we have to put our plaid at 1 inch. And if you're going to use your ruler or your scoreboard, that's going to definitely help. And then you don't have to go through and cut this twice. But we're going to go ahead and do this one. We're going to let it dry. And we're going to go ahead and do the other ones just like this, so that they're good and dry. Because sometimes when you're using a wet adhesive and you go and try and cut through, the paper's not, it's going to tear. Put my tip back on for this so I don't get my paper too wet. Okay, so I can set that aside. Letter or pendant number 3 is going to be the wood grain. And that's floral. And we're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to adhere this at the 1 inch. That does look really pretty with this. It's brighter in the picture, so I love that. And don't fear, I do have the 6x8s in the store, and you get 2 sheets of each design. We're going to place it at the 1 inch. I really do like that they made that easy placement there. Number 3, you're going to take the letters and that blue plaid, and we're going to do the same thing here. That's pretty too. I like this whole collection. The colors are very Farmhouse. They're the pictures, of course, are brighter, but that's just because of the camera. But they turned out really nice, the colors. Okay, number 5. You're going to actually take the orange polka dot. Like I said, it is a lot brighter, but it's muted, very fall colors, very pretty. And then the plaid. They really did a nice job color coordinating this collection. Okay, the 1 inch. And make sure everything's nice and flat. And then our last one for our last pennant is the Autumn Blessings. And that is that truck, the really cute truck for Autumn Blessings. So we'll just grab one of our our pennants here. Oh, let me show you what I noticed they did. See the truck? Actually, they put it, this one, at the top and all the way over here to the side. Just making sure we're going to keep the autumn. We are. So that's kind of what it looks like they did. The main thing is we keep that Autumn Blessings in here. Yep, pretty much what they did. Okay, I'm going to use my big cutter. Because I just know that one so much better. Oh, one thing I was going to do a little different this time. I'm actually not going to cut that bottom out. I forgot. So I'm going to ink 3 edges. And while you're making yours, just find out what works best for you. And so I did put the tip back on because this paper it's not textured, it's just smooth. It's nice, but it wasn't handling the glue with the tip off. I was putting too much on. Okay. Even though I noticed I drew it, I'm going to do it a little bit different. So I want to add here all of these. We're going to let that dry, and it doesn't, so it's not going to matter the order. It will just matter that we center this. And if you're brave, you can just take 1/8 of an inch off each side. Here more. Yeah, it always changes once I get it on there. Sorry about that noise. Get there close enough with my blade. Now I'm pretty good. I think I can just take 1/8 of an inch off each side. I think. But these are 5 3/4. So I'll just kind of take 1/8 off each side until I get to 5 3/4. So it's asymmetrical. So what I'm doing is cutting 1/8 here. I turn it and cut 1/8 again until I kind of inch my way up to 5 3/4. And that is much quicker. So first I'll put it in the cutter and go, actually you can go 6 7/8, and then, or 5 7/8, and then 5 3/4. And you should be okay. I'll show you in just a moment. Okay, so in your cutter, I want you to put this in your cutter and and you're going to cut the width down to 5 7/8. Then you're going to turn it around and cut it at 5 3/4. And that should put you exactly where it fits, cuts down some of all of the work, and speeds it up. Like I said, I'm doing this start to finish with you for the first time so that I could basically go through the instructions and know, I wanted to know what you're reading, so that if you need to come back with questions, I can say yes, that was correct in the instructions. Okay, let's get these 3 put on, and then we're going to cut that bottom angle. And how did I manage that? Just trim that whole edge on my big cutter so that everything was smooth. And I am going to take the tip off. Just be very gentle if you are. Don't squeeze your bottle much. This one, you need to make sure it's not upside down, because your letters, they're letters, so we don't want it to be upside down. Set for a minute so it doesn't slide on me. Throw my tip back on. And let's start back with this one. Now, before you do any decorating, this is also where you're going to want to do the back. This is actually kind of quick, so I might just go ahead and do it with you. I'm just going to use this straight edge knife. You can also use scissors. I always go into the chipboard. And if you do, don't fret. It's not going to hurt it at all because you've cut through everything. So no one will know. And if you do use scissors, just use your fine ones. Those are really cute. I cannot wait to hang this up. I'm pushing too hard. That's what my problem is. So I'm trying to do it all at once, and it's causing me to mess up. So just, yeah, go through twice. I teach that. Now, did I practice it? Usually. Why I didn't tonight, I don't know. So the harder you push, the harder it makes it. These are really cute. These are really cute. Now, the thing, like I said, that is not in your instructions is that we're going to mat the backs. And we have 6 of them. And you have 6 papers. So I'm going to take all 6 of these and I'm going to cut them to 5 3/4. I'm going to cut them to 8. We need that little bit of space. So 5 3/4 by 8. And then you'll have the whole other side plus some of the bottom that will make great cards. So let's lay them out and just get an idea of where we want our colors. So I'm going to put the robin's egg with the wood. I'm going to go, I think I'll go with, there we go. That one on the back. gold on the back of that one, orange, definitely the teal, and then the green. And it should fit perfect. If it doesn't, let's just go ahead and cut them now. So this was the one I cut the banner itself down. So I took a 1/16 of an inch off. Not, I'm going to have the dots. Same thing. Problem with art glitter glue, it starts to dry too soon. That's why I'm taking that tip off, because that little amount starts to dry before I get the other side on. I'm really happy that we're doing this with the lightweight chipboard, because now I've got myself a really sturdy banner. We'll do our trimming up here in just a moment. Once again, let's check our fit before we glue down. Ink the 3 sides. Moved a little. Let it sit just for a moment. Grab hold. There we go. Main thing I'm looking for with my back piece is that nothing is sticking out in the front. I don't want any of it to be seen from the, sides. Okay, start in the middle there, so you don't get so much in the corners. our last one. And it's too big. Hell yeah, the little cutters are convenient, so you can see me cut while I'm working, but there's nothing like the dolly cutter. Because it's perfect every time. Nice smooth cuts, always. But I mean, you need a little cutter sometimes. Glue. Let's start with our first one. I think this was the first one, but it feels pretty dry. So I'm going to use the scissors. I don't want to mess up my top paper. Use the glue for a minute, so I need to. And I'm just going to go again around any areas that need touching up. This isn't the order that we're going to be putting these in. I'm just going through and cutting them from the order that I glued them. So remember, if you purchase the kit from our store, Country Craft Creations, you have received extra paper to do this. Otherwise, if you're watching this and you bought the kit somewhere else, you probably received your kit in just a different format, however that store did it. And you can definitely do it this way and use, you know, some of the paper you have available at home. But we want to clean up these edges. And then because it's going to look a little choppy from my scissors, that's where you're going to use your nail file. And don't worry, it'll take the color off the paper. And that's what our dressing is for. But that is the back side. I'm just going to run my ink all around again for any places the paper didn't fit exact. Now, when someone says to you, oh my gosh, did you make that? You can definitely say, yes, I did. I like kits. I didn't want the kit to be completely done because you want to have some creative element here where you're putting it together. And you're probably like, no, I don't. Just kidding, just kidding. I'm going to get my big cutter. I just need to straighten out my one side. And that's the beauty of having a dolly. It'll go through all of the layers, and then you can straighten everything up. Takes a lot of stress out of crafting. I love it when it works each time. Only one time, right? The last one. No issues. So what I'm touching up is my paper. And paper will shrink, especially if you use a lot of glue like I did. So it kind of pulled away from the sides. So what I did is I just kind of cut the whole thing. So it looked a lot neater. Okay, we have 2 to go. Oh, that wasn't the last one. We have 2 to go. I'm like, where did those come from? It's a pretty color. Now we have one more. This is our last one. Now I meant doing it the way the instructions say, just on this paper would be a lot simpler, but it definitely would be as sturdy. And I have a Halloween banner I made out of chipboard one year, and I still use it, and we're on about the 5th year. This will be the 5th year. And I just hang it out in the living room. So you can add glitter. You can really dress this up. Okay. So we know that Autumn Blessings is our first one, and this is going to be the last one. Or no, this is the first one. This is the last one. So I am going to set those aside. And putting these in order is that green plaid on top, the wood with the floral. Then we have the blue, and we have that other plaid. So when we put these all together, we will be punching holes in just a moment. But now we're going to go back and we're going to start with our ovals with the first one. actually the second one. So the instructions that I did not do is where you take number 3, your black journaling pen, to outline one of the peach ovals. When you outline it, that is up to you. You definitely can do that. And then you want to select both layers, which we've already done of our letters, but they used that blue behind. And again, they took the pen around. Totally up to you. So right now, we're going to grab our foam dots that came in our package. And you have plenty. So let's do this first. We're going to attach the oval. And the oval will be on foam dots if you want. And then the F will be on foam dots so that they both stick out. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 2, 4, 6. You have a few extras. So basically each row is going to be for these things. You have 4 and actually you'll be able to use 5 because you need 5. You'll have that extra row. What you want to do is, if you need more, of course, and you have them, you can put more on there. And I'm going to use glue also. I always put glue on top of my foam dots. And this is pretty sturdy because we backed it in our artisan craft. I'm just going to center it. And then for the F, and then you'll need the 5th. You'll have plenty to put 5 on each. Did I get them all out? And using the, oops, art glitter glue, I'll just put a dot on each one. And we're just going to center it there. Okay, let's grab our chipboards. These are so cute. There we go. So I'm going to take the wreath, and then I took the center out here. You also want the word gather. We're going to add gather across the center. Whoops. And then you're also going to want this floral. And you will want your enamel dots. In the package. So the wreath will sit here with the gather across. And in your instructions, it does say to use your foam tape if you want to. It says select the chipboard wreath sticker and adhere it to the top left of the letter. And then it does suggest using your gather with your foam. Now, one thing I do, because part of this is going to be sticky, I remove the whole sticker. Okay, because I don't want that stickiness back there. I'm just going to use my art glue. Put it up here sort of where your F indents in. So it does mention using your dots here, and it is sticky on the back. But I'm going to cut this foam dot in half because it's good size. And you don't need it like on the end, so I'm just going to put these here in the center. We're going to hold that for just a minute. And then our flower is going to come over here on our F. And again, if you want to use your foam dots, you can. I'm not. Then we're going to take our yellow dots, our enamel dots that are inside your package, and we are going to take a medium and a small. They're going to be sitting down here. So I'm just going to add 2 dots of glue to help with holding. So I'm using the medium and the small. And then we're going to add a large. I'm adding a medium and a small. So 1 of each. And a paintbrush is handy to clean up that glue that comes out from your pop dots. But with the art glitter glue, you pretty much have a clear drawing. Isn't that cute? And there's our F. I love that. So now we're going to go to the A. And you want to grab the wood. Our wooden one. And we're going to repeat the same thing. We're going to put the oval down. So let's go ahead and take the A, and let's prepare it the same way. Oh, goodness, I should have left it. Okay, you're going to want your pumpkin wagon, which is going to be here at the bottom. Cute, cute. Then we have a heart for there. Then we also have the flowers up here at the top. And we have the pumpkin spice sign. Now the pumpkin spice sign looks like it's going to be placed kind of strategically here. There we go. So it kind of connects into there. And again, you can use foam dots on any. It does tell you in the directions to put this on a foam dot, things like that. So totally up to you what you want to use. I really do just take that sticker part off because I've had it just come off before, so I just remove it. And so up to you. Plus, when you leave the sticky, and I've had that, taken it out of storage for the next year, and there's like hair or something stuck on there. I'm like, we'll just take that off. Now I'm going to stick the whole thing down like this one. I'm just going to leave it on. Again, your instructions will tell you if you want to use the foam on these pieces. So it does say to connect this up here so it looks like it's hanging. So we're going to put it underneath here by the, kind of like the flower. There we go. You're going to turn it to adhere to that flower. So I put a dot right there. So we're going to hold this just for a minute. Okay. Take a second to dry. Kind of a different, you know how it's shiny finish, or it's not wanting to adhere. So I'm just going to strategically place this, and then we'll sit this on top. See, that's why I like to have adhesive. Now this only needs half of it. So it needs to come down here a little bit more. There we go. Across from this. And the reason the foam dot is we need a little height back here to sit right there. Then we're going to put in the center that yellow dot of our flower. So let's just hold things down for a moment. So I'm going to have a medium and 2 small on the till. Probably too far over. Well, that glue doesn't want to clean up. There we go. And it's coming together. Pretty cute, isn't it? Green plaid and our letters. And let's repeat again. Okay, we want the L, that is the orange. Okay, let's choose from our chipboards the large floral. Excuse me. And it's going to sit like so. And we have 2 candlesticks. These are just adorable. So you've got 2 candlesticks. We have a pumpkin. And we have this leaf. So the instructions say to select the large floral, and they're saying to use your foam tape to put this down with. And totally up to you. And then we're going to take our 2 candlesticks and we're going to layer these. Oh, the shorter one is going to sit here to the left. And he came up with, whoop. Then our pumpkin is going to sit here. So I'm actually going to move that up just a little bit. And then we're going to have the leaf coming out at the side. I'm going to use 2 of the foam dots. Oh, Mr. Pumpkin, there we go. Okay. This is going down to the left hand side, and I'm just going to place it where the orange starts. I'm going to bring this one up just a little bit higher, even a little bit higher than in the picture. Oops. And then, goodness. Now our pumpkin's going to sit up. It's kind of sticky. So there's going to be plenty of room to put our little leaf down. Trust me, you'll be so happy you used your art glitter glue because it will make it permanent. I'm not going to overlap much on the candlestick. I'm just going to bring it just to the edge of the black one. Then we're going to tuck this little guy. That's cute. We're going to take our orange dots and down here by our candlesticks, we want to have a large, a medium, and a small. So kind of by the stem, I'm going to do a large, bring the medium in, and a small at the top. Okay, and then up here by our flowers, we're going to add here a medium, probably up here at the top, and a small. Okay, that's pretty cute too. Each one we do, you know, the pictures just don't quite do it justice as when you get this put together. Okay, page 5. So let's just, oh, let's go back to page 1 actually really quick. So page 1, we do want to take our enamel dots, these colored ones. It has us putting over here on the pink this orange to give it some dimension. So let's add this large orange one right there. And then on these enamel dots, see we have the 2 large and the medium. So up here in this open area, to give it some more dimension, we're going to add the large, and the medium. Okay, it looks really cool. The shadowing kind of a color there. Okay, now we're on to our last L, and we're going to do the exact same thing. First the oval. This is pretty. I like these colors. Okay, harvest. Oh, that's going to look really nice. We have the long elongated pumpkin. Then we have this, what are they calling this one? Because I have one on my kitchen counter and I can't think of the name for it, but it's really cool. It's the Decorative Platter. The only thing is I really like this fall coffee cup one, but that's okay. It can be used in a card. We have this leaf here at the bottom. Then we have this, oh, actually it's this golden leaf, not this one. And I can't put it back, but I definitely don't want to lose that. And we're going to just kind of put this together the same way. Excuse me. So our harvest will sit here. And it looks like they did cover up some of the sign with the pumpkin. When you notice your picture, you don't see the T. So if you want to bring that up a little bit, you definitely can. I'll do it just like in the picture. But on this large orange pumpkin, let me go ahead and close this door so we don't hear the TV. Even the dogs are like, they're finally calming down. It doesn't call for this on your harvest sign. It said just to stick it and you hear it, but you know, it's kind of heavy. So I'm going to take a couple of enamel dots down the side. I'm going to cut them in half, 2 of them. There's really nothing for it to sit on that side, and I don't want it to bend the letter down. Use glue. Oh no, it's going to stick pretty good. No, it's not. Yeah, always add glue. Sorry. Oh my gosh, that. Okay, I've had enough of that one. Oh, I'm telling you, it's. Oh, there. Now see, it'll sit nice and flush. Next, we want to add here the tall pumpkin. We're going to put this down here at the bottom. So it does cover the T somewhat. Hold that for just a minute. So while that's drying, let's go ahead and add our green enamel dots up here at the top. So I'm going to put a large one there, a medium, and a small. Large one in the middle. Medium and small. So we have our pumpkin. The next one, we want to put the tiered decorative platter sticker to the right side of the orange pumpkin sticker, and we are going to want to use enamel dots, not enamel dots, foam on this one because it needs leverage. I'm just taking it off. Half the time I can't get it to stay on. I don't understand that. So see how it'll sit on the pumpkin, but we need some foam dots on this side. This little leaf, the bigger leaf, it's going to kind of stick in there at the top. And the golden one, here at the bottom. Then we're going to add our green enamel dots. First there we go. I keep losing them. So on this one, we're going to do a medium and your small enamel dots down here. medium, and then a small. Yeah, that's cute too. Where's my paintbrush? Clean up the glue. And our trucks. Now on our truck, this banner pendant up here at the top, when pushing it out, you're going to be a little bit gentle because I had one tear the other day. There we go. So just go slow with it. We're going to bring that up as high as you can, kind of moving it so it doesn't, there we go, get into our words. But you need holes, so that's one thing we got to remember. So they actually are showing it a little bit off the page. So you can kind of play with it and see exactly where you want yours to be. And then the rest of these they didn't use, so you have a few things that you can still play with. You can even add more if you want. And then we have our sky blue. And also go back to your instructions and make sure, especially if you had any dots left over that I didn't like, leave it off somewhere. So on this one, I'm not going to put it on a foam dot, so I want to try and be kind of careful and hopefully leave the sticky on. But we want it to become permanent. So I'm going to have it off just a hair on the left and then off here because we still have to poke our holes. Then I'm going to put a sky blue enamel dot, large one. Right there. And then we're going to have a small and a medium. It's really a pretty color. I really like those. Now over here by our pumpkin, we're going to have a large, a medium, and a small. See, now it's a nice thing with adding the glue. You can move things somewhat. Okay, it looks like we have one large green one, so definitely go back through and see if I left it off maybe a center, or if they put a green one somewhere we didn't, or you can definitely just stick it on. I'm not seeing one, but that's okay. Now, back to your instructions here. It doesn't really tell you where to, to punch your holes, but it does say thread along wire twine. So I'm just going to go with my standard. And I always go about a quarter to a half, well, mostly a quarter of an inch in, and I'm going to use my crocodile because I can set it. Now I'm going to use, on this one, I'm going to use the smaller, and then you can also add eyelets if you want. But I'm going to use the smaller side. Oh, and we're going to set it at a quarter of an inch in. And if you want to mark your banner, you certainly can. But what I do is I just use my crocodile. See this black thing? And let me cut the first one, and then I'll tell you where I've cut it. I'm thinking that's going to be too far in, but I use that as my guide, kind of as the ruler. And for those of you that don't have one, I brought it in. I punched it a quarter from the side and a quarter from the top. So a quarter in and a quarter from the top. But with this crocodile, once you learn the measurements and using it, it really does help a lot. See, then I can go from the side, and I know it'll be in the same place. Oh, this is going to be cute hanging up. I'll tell you that now. And then you can decide. We'll get out our string. Do you want the string that we put in your kit or the plaid? Now they do have an orange, so that is totally up to you. We've provided both. And I am going to use the orange. Then you can definitely use the other one as decoration. So I'll start by going down. And it does help if you have a pokey tool, or you can even thread if you have those plastic needles, crafting needles. So we're going to go from behind. And you can take it across the front if you want. And then we want the F. Oh, you're going to go down. Sorry. Pull enough out here. Paintbrush. Oh, I thought it smelled. There we go. So see, it's outside like so. And then the A. So you're going to do it from the front. And up through the back. Now you can move your banner pieces to give you more to work with. Now we want to come from the front. And let's straighten it out. Now, if it's twisted, it's easier to do it now. There we go. And around the back. Oh, wait, did I pick the right L? Yeah, the orange one. Okay, I thought they were in order. thought. Didn't mean they were. I love it. Whoops. And then in the kit, I gave you plenty of ribbon. Plenty. Okay. Now, that's not enough, of course. So now we're going to have to you're going to have to move your banner. And I know I'm not in camera, but there's not a lot I can do because it's so long. So I'm just going to move my banner pieces along. And untwist anything that's twisted. And then I'm going to hold it up, and you can check your spacing however you want. And this is also where you could bring in your twine and tie bows in between each one. And I apologize, I'm not completely in camera, but just so you can get an idea, you can hold yours up. And on the ends, I would suggest if you're going to tie it, you don't totally cut it off. I am going to cut the other side here to somewhat match, so you will have some left over. And then when I'm ready, what I do is, see how this is in the front? So I'm going to wrap this to the back, and I'm actually going to bring this back through again. Now you can also use beads here. You could put a bead at the end. That would look really cute. Or you just bring that back up through. So it makes a loop there, see, on the edge. Once you get, okay, I need to hold it up to check my placement. I'm going to leave, you need a little room so it'll hang nice. So we can move things around here. And so I'm going to wrap this one to the back. Bring it through again. So now we have it there hugging on the side. And your banner will now stay as one. Okay, and then the thing is, once you get it hung up, you'll be able to space things out. And I hope you guys are enjoying making your banner. And if you have any questions, just make sure you find me on Facebook in our Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations group. Or you can email me at countrycraftcreations.com if you have any questions. Because remember, I added a few extra things in your kit that aren't on your instruction sheet, like the chipboard. That's why I did this video, so that you would have a step-by-step. But if you are in our Facebook group, Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations, please be sure to post your banner. I would love to see your finished work. Thank you, everybody, and good night.